Most gardeners have killed more cuttings than they'd like to admit. You take a healthy stem from a thriving plant, you do everything the internet told you to do, and 3 weeks later you pull it out and it's mush. So you try again. Same result. And eventually you start thinking, maybe it's you. Maybe you just weren't born with a green thumb. Here's the truth nobody's saying out loud. Green thumbs aren't born, they're built from information. And the information most people are working with is incomplete. Today, I'm giving you the 10 most powerful propagation secrets that professional growers quietly use every season. These aren't theories. The biology is real, the results are consistent, and most of what you need is already in your house right now. We're going to go in order, building from solid fundamentals up to the technique at number 10 that takes 30 seconds and can genuinely double your success rate, starting with your very next cutting. Make sure you subscribe before we get into this. Every week on this channel, we cut through the noise and bring you practical, science-backed growing knowledge that actually holds up in the real world. Hit that subscribe button and the bell so you never miss it. Let's start with number 1. Number 1. The node rule. The foundation everything else is built on. Before any technique, any treatment, any special medium matters, you have to get this right. Roots can only form at nodes, not from the middle of a stem, not from a leaf, only from nodes. A node is the point on a stem where a leaf attaches or has attached. It's a concentrated zone of growth tissue, cells that have the ability to become roots, shoots, or leaves depending on what signals they receive. When you take a cutting, you need at least one node, ideally 2 or 3, in the section that goes into your rooting medium. Cut just below a node, within about a centimeter. Strip off any leaves from the nodes that will be underground, because submerged leaves rot, and that rot spreads. The nodes stay because that's where your roots are going to come from. This sounds basic, but a significant percentage of failed propagation attempts come down to this single issue. Cuttings taken from sections of stem with no nodes. No technique on this list, no product you can buy, fixes the absence of a node. Confirm node placement on every cutting, every time. Number 2. Timing your cut. Softwood versus hardwood. Here's something that changes everything once you understand it. The same plant can be easy or nearly impossible to propagate, depending purely on when you cut it. Softwood cuttings come from new spring and early summer growth. Fresh, flexible, still green tips. This tissue is rich in actively dividing cells and responds quickly to rooting conditions. Softwood cuttings root fast, sometimes remarkably fast, but they're vulnerable. That soft tissue wilts quickly and rots easily. Hardwood cuttings come from stems that have fully matured into woody growth, usually taken in late fall or winter during dormancy. This tissue roots more slowly, but it's resilient. You can leave a hardwood cutting in a rooting medium for weeks without losing it. The mistake most people make is expecting softwood speed from hardwood cuttings or treating softwood with hardwood patience. Know what you're working with. Match your technique to your timing, and your success rate will shift immediately. Number 3. Cinnamon, the spice rack fungicide. This one surprises people every time. The cinnamon in your kitchen spice rack is a powerful natural antifungal that directly addresses the number 1 cause of cutting failure, rot at the base. When you place a fresh cutting in moist soil or water, you're creating warm, humid conditions that fungal spores thrive in. Without protection, those spores attack the cut end and establish a gray or black rot that spreads upward and kills the cutting before roots ever form. Dust powdered cinnamon directly onto the cut end of your stem before it goes into your rooting medium. It creates a dry, antimicrobial barrier at exactly the spot where rot starts. The roots simply grow right through it when they emerge. What cinnamon doesn't do is slow root formation. What it does do is eliminate the fungal threat that would have ended your cutting in the first week. This works especially well with rose cuttings, succulents, and any woody stem cutting rooted in soil. It costs nothing, it's chemical-free, and the results are consistent. Number 4. Willow water, nature's rooting hormone. If you take nothing else from this video, take this one. Willow water is the most effective natural rooting accelerator available anywhere, and it grows in parks, along creek beds, and in backyards across the country. Willow trees produce extraordinarily high concentrations of indolebutyric acid, which is the exact same active compound found in commercial rooting hormone products. They also produce salicylic acid, which primes plant tissue for growth while simultaneously triggering natural defenses. Making it is simple. Collect young green branch tips from any willow tree, chop them into small pieces, and submerge them in plain water. Let them soak for 24 to 48 hours, then strain out the plant material. What's left is a golden amber liquid that is biologically loaded with soak your cuttings in willow water for several hours before planting, or use it as the water in your water rooting setup. The results speak for themselves. Cuttings treated with willow water consistently root faster, produce more roots, and survive at higher rates than untreated cuttings, often by margins that rival synthetic rooting hormones. If there's a willow near you, there is no reason not to be using this. Root-promoting compounds. Number 5. Raw honey dip, the antimicrobial bodyguard. Right after you make a cut on a stem, there's a window of high vulnerability. The plant tissue is open and exposed, and microbial attack during this window is responsible for far more cutting failures than most people realize. Raw honey addresses this directly. It contains natural enzymes, trace minerals, and antimicrobial compounds, including naturally occurring hydrogen peroxide, that protect the cut surface during those first critical days. Dip the bottom inch of your cutting into raw honey before placing it in your rooting medium. The honey forms a thin protective coating that keeps bacteria and fungi away from the cut surface while also delivering mild growth-promoting compounds directly to the tissue. This works particularly well for softwood cuttings, which are the most vulnerable in that early window. 1 jar of raw honey used sparingly will last an entire propagation season. It's one of those things where the science perfectly explains what experienced gardeners have observed for generations. Number 6. Aloe vera gel, the live-in growth compound. If you grow aloe vera, which you should, you have one of the most biologically complete natural rooting aids available growing right in your home. Aloe gel contains salicylic acid, which triggers plant immune responses and initiates growth. It contains gibberellins, which are natural growth hormones. It contains saponins, which are antimicrobial. And it contains a full range of enzymes and minerals that support the rapid cellular division happening at the base of a cutting trying to form roots. Cut a fresh aloe leaf, scoop out the clear inner gel, and coat the base of your cutting thoroughly before placing it in your rooting medium. Alternatively, dissolve fresh aloe gel in water and use that liquid as your rooting water for cuttings, rooting in water. The gel protects the cut surface, delivers natural growth stimulants directly to the tissue, and creates conditions that are hostile to pathogens. Studies on aloe-based plant treatments consistently show accelerated root initiation compared to untreated cuttings. This isn't folklore. The chemistry is documented, and the mechanism is real. Number 7. The humidity dome. Keeping your cutting out of survival mode. The moment you remove a cutting from its parent plant, it faces a real crisis. It has no roots, so it cannot absorb water. But its leaves are still actively losing moisture to the air through transpiration every minute. When that moisture loss exceeds what the cutting can maintain internally, it goes into survival mode. All growth processes, including root formation, shut down. The plant puts everything into simply staying alive. A humidity dome breaks this cycle completely. Cover your cuttings with any clear dome, an inverted plastic bottle, a plastic bag propped up on stakes, a dedicated propagation tray with a lid. What you're creating is a microenvironment where the air around the leaves stays so saturated with moisture that the cutting barely loses anything through transpiration. With the survival crisis resolved, the cutting can redirect all its energy toward what you want it doing, which is forming roots. Research on propagation humidity consistently shows that cuttings maintained at high relative humidity root faster and at dramatically higher success rates than cuttings left in open air. Once you see new leaves pushing out, roots have formed, and you can slowly introduce fresh air over several days to bring the cutting back to normal conditions. Number 8. Darkness at the root zone. The counterintuitive secret. This is the one that feels backwards until you understand why it works. Roots form faster in complete darkness, not because of some mysterious effect, but because of evolution. Roots grow underground. They have developed over millions of years to respond to darkness as the signal that they are in the correct environment to proliferate. When light reaches the root zone, it actually suppresses certain root-forming processes. When the root zone is dark, the plant's hormonal signals say this is where roots belong. Wrap your rooting containers. Use dark or opaque pots instead of clear glass jars. If you're rooting in water in a clear container, wrap the outside completely in dark paper or foil. The leaves can receive full light. The root zone needs complete darkness. Research on root development shows that even low light levels reaching the root zone can suppress auxin activity, which is the primary hormone responsible for root formation. Eliminating that light exposure removes a real, if subtle, brake on the rooting process. This costs nothing, takes 30 seconds to set up, and has a measurable effect on rooting speed. Number 9. Perlite-Only Medium. The oxygen-rich foundation. What you root in matters as much as anything you do to the cutting itself. And of all the available rooting media, perlite used alone without soil or peat mixed in creates conditions that are nearly ideal for root development. Perlite is expanded volcanic glass. It holds moisture on its surface while maintaining large air pockets between particles. The result is a medium that is simultaneously moist and highly oxygenated, which is exactly what forming roots need. Root cells develop through aerobic respiration. They require oxygen. When oxygen is abundant and moisture is consistent, root formation happens at its maximum possible rate. Soil mixtures compact over time and reduce oxygen availability. Peat can hold moisture, but become waterlogged. Perlite stays loose and oxygen-rich regardless of how long cuttings sit in it. The roots that form in perlite are typically white, thick, and numerous, and they transition into soil without the shock that sometimes accompanies moving water-rooted cuttings. Professional propagators return to perlite consistently because the results justify it every time. Number 10. Scarification. The 30-second root trigger. We finish with the most immediately actionable technique on this entire list. You can apply this to every cutting you ever take starting right now, and it costs nothing and takes half a minute. Before you place any cutting into any rooting medium, take the blade of your knife or a nail file and lightly scrape the bottom inch of the stem on 2 or 3 sides. Not cutting through, just scratching through the outer bark to expose the green cambium layer beneath. Here is what you have just done. The cambium is the active growth layer of the plant, the tissue responsible for producing new vascular structure, new bark, and new roots. By exposing it along the base of the cutting, you have dramatically increased the surface area of tissue that can initiate root formation. Instead of roots only able to emerge from the node points, they can now emerge from the entire scarified section of stem. Beyond that, the physical wounding triggers the plant's wound response, a cascade of hormonal signals that increases auxin concentration at the damage site. Auxin is the primary chemical signal for root formation. You are not just exposing more tissue. You are activating the plant's own biological mechanism for producing roots. Apply scarification in combination with anything else on this list: honey dip, willow water soak, humidity dome, perlite medium, darkness. The effects compound. Each technique removes a different limiting factor. Together they create conditions where roots form as quickly as the plant's biology allows. And that is dramatically faster than most people have ever experienced. If you made it to this point, you now have a complete system. Not random tips, but 10 techniques, each targeting a different variable that controls how fast and how successfully roots form. Use them individually, and you will see improvement. Use them together, and you will understand why some growers seem to have an almost unfair advantage. Tell me in the comments which one you are trying first. Are you making willow water this weekend? Going straight for the scarification technique? I read every single comment and genuinely enjoy hearing what works for you in the real world. If this gave you something useful, hit that like button. It takes 1 second, and it helps this video reach other gardeners who are losing cuttings unnecessarily when the solutions are this simple. And if you are not subscribed to this channel yet, now is the time. We are here every week with real, science-backed growing knowledge that makes a difference in your garden. We will see you in the next one.